Hello students, welcome to Medical360 and Career360. When NEET examination happened and got cancelled and again another RE-NEET happened, a lot of questions were raised of whether it is legit, with what is the effect and how would it affect the student community. Now I was all waiting for the data to come out to understand what kind of effect it has on the student community, because very clearly, not every student can do the same travel again, same journey again, prepare all over again and take the examination all over again. And I was very keen to understand what is the impact it has and who will take the responsibility for this kind of an impasse. Let me explain to you what happened. We are now talking of the case of missing students in RE-NEET. What are we doing? We're comparing NEET that happened in the month of May, right, with RE-NEET. This happened in the month of June. Now when actually an exam gets cancelled, what is the kind of impact it has on students is something that every educator, every governing official, every person in the government must understand, because it does have an impact on the student lives. We all know that 18 students committed suicide. But what beyond that? For the people who are alive, working and studying and all, does it have an impact? And this data will tell you what exactly happened. By the way, a lot of students are also concerned, anxious and also if you have any questions or if you want to talk to a counselor, do call us, messages on 8130376334. Just message us NEET and one of our counselors will call you. And if you want to use a college predictor, please use this college predictor where you just need to input your rank and you will get what are the college you are likely to get into. Now let's talk of the RE-NEET. What exactly happened? Now look at the data that we have from 2024 onwards, 24, 25, and what happened in the first phase of NEET when it happened in May 26, this is May, and this is June. Now the important thing is to compare these things to understand the impact. The impact will be understood when you actually compare what happened previously, so that we can actually draw a line there. In 25, 22.76 lakh students registered for the examination. 22 lakh 9,000 students appeared for the examination. So the dropout students is 2.93% or less than 3%. About 66,000 students did not even appear for the examination, which is less than 3%. In NEET 2026, which is what happened in May 2026 when the examination happened, a similar number of students registered for the examination, which is 22.75 lakh. The total students who appeared is 22 lakh 5,000. Right. So the number of students again who dropped out is about 3.08%. And typically if you see over the past years now, about 3% students don't appear for the examination after they register for the examination also. Now that should be the trend that should happen when RE-NEET also happens. When I saw the press release about a couple of days back when the answer key was released and all and the OMR sheet was released, they said around 20 lakh students appeared for the examination. I was always wondering, how can a government which is in charge of the examination come out with an approximate number or a generic number instead of giving a specific number? Because when they talked of qualified candidates also, they gave exact number. But the moment it talks of the number of students appeared, they talked of around 20 lakh. Like when you see the press release yesterday also, they said 11 lakh 21,185 students qualified for the examination. But the number of students who appeared is always around 20 lakh. Now for me that's a red flag, because when any establishment, when any government is not giving specific number, it means they are trying to brush it under the carpet. So I looked at that number very closely. The number of students this time who appeared is only 19.99 lakh, which is 2.05 lakh lesser than what happened in the May examination. 2 lakh 5,000 students were so affected that they did not even appear for the examination. Who they appeared, by the way, they appeared in the month of May 2026. But when it moved to June 2026, 2 lakh 5,000 students dropped out of the examination process. This is a shocker for everyone. This is the responsibility of NTA and the Ministry of Education and everyone out there who actually governed this examination, because of it 2 lakh students, 2 lakh 5,000 students struggled and gave up. They just walked away from the examination. Who will take the responsibility of this? And whenever such things happen, I always notice that it's the marginalized people who actually, or people in the society who do not have that stamina and the perseverance that are the first people to be affected by this. So I went further down and tried to, by the way, because of this, the number of students who actually qualified also came down from 12.36 to 11.21 lakh, which is a 10% drop. So the number of qualified students also came down by about 10%. And the important thing I always say is whenever such things happen, it is certain sets of society which actually get affected, and they show a higher possibility of dropping out. So when I looked at it at gender level, when I noticed that the male students were 9.46 lakh students who registered and 8.47 lakh students who appeared. The dropout is 10.47. Mind you, in the normal course it's 3% only. Remember that. But when it comes to female, 13.32 lakh students registered, 11.52 lakh students appeared. The dropout is 13.56 lakh. So the dropout for women is 30% more than male. 30% more than male. That's because the parents, the society, they don't travel all over again. If the center is slightly further away, they don't travel, they don't take that effort. Or the society says, listen, I've taken you in a bus and a train at some point in time, I can't do that again and again. You see trains crammed with people and students when the examinations happen. And the women are less likely to go through that process if they feel vulnerable. Or if the parents say, I can't do the effort all over again. Because the centers are not closer to you in every single city and village. City people are very privileged. People who are living in metros are very privileged. But when you go out of the cities into the villages, you don't have the same privilege. The center is slightly further away. At times it is in the city. You need to travel overnight to come and lodge yourself in a city. And that is the reason what you see, that while overall you actually saw about 10% plus students, the overall dropout rate is 12.28%. The thing is, boys dropped out 10.47% against a normal of 3.43%, which means it's about 3.5 times of what it is. Girls dropped out 13.56% against 3% again, which is 4.5 times of what it is. So the dropout ratio that you're dealing with is 3.5 times for boys, 3.5x for boys, and 4.5x for girls. And that is a shocker for me. Right? And someone should take the responsibility of this. We keep saying, what is the effect of RE-NEET? Again, people take the examination, they'll go through it and they'll get admission. That's right. But who is answerable to these 2,05,000 aspirants who aspire to be a doctor in this country and appeared for the examination when it was conducted first time around? But when it came to the second time around, this did not happen. 2,05,000 students. So this is a case file of that missing 2,05,000 students is what we're dealing with. We also looked at it at a category level, and we realized that the highest is about ST is 14.14% and general is 14.43%. So it is not to do with the category level, but largely to do with at a gender level that there seems to be a lot of unfairness that happened across the board. So the question that bothers me every single time is, how is it that we got into this space where we were unjust to 2,05,000 students who were compelled, forced and pushed out of the system of their aspiration to be a doctor in this country? This is a question that government must answer. This is a question that NTA must answer. There should be someone who will take responsibility for 2,05,000 students who have been stripped of their dreams just because there was failure at an institutional level. Would someone answer this question? I don't know about that. But for us, it is important that we keep raising this question, and that's why we're raising this question, that the case of the missing students is very, very important for all of us. If you're anxious about this NEET journey, do messages on 8130376334, messages NEET, and one of our counselors will call you. We created a college predictor for you. Just use that if you want. You just say NEET college predictor of Medical360 and you will be getting that also. But the question again remains, who is answerable to these students? Thank you so much. I hope this helps you. Thank you so much. Namaste.